Hello everyone, I'm Sonia and I'm just going to be talking a little bit about my internship that I did with Girls on the Run of Western North Carolina here in Asheville. So if you don't know what Girls on the Run is, it's a program for girls from 3rd through 8th grade, and what it focuses on is, addressing different aspects of their lives that they go through during this stage, whether that's them being physically active, them knowing about their emotions, them eating healthier, gossip that may happen at school, bullies at school, that sort of stuff. And it focuses a lot on different, things that they are faced with throughout this age range. And so each lesson is, focused on different aspects of this. So with Girls on the Run, there are 6 core values. Recognize our power and responsibility to be intentional in our decision making, embrace our differences, and find strength in our connectedness, express joy, optimism, and gratitude through our words, thoughts, and actions, nurture our physical, emotional, and spiritual health, lead with an open heart and assume positive intent, and stand up for ourselves and others. So I had 4 specific objectives throughout my time with Girls on the Run. The first, throughout and after this internship, I will be able to better assess the targeted population by addressing their behavior, environmental barriers that can affect their health. So with these girls, there were different behavioral and environmental barriers that affected them participating in the lessons and them participating in the running aspect of the program. So throughout each lesson, I tried to identify specific barriers that these girls may be facing, and talking to them, trying to find ways to change them, the barriers, and get rid of them, that sort of stuff. My second objective: by the end of this internship, I will be able to communicate with the targeted population using different strategies, methods, and techniques. So one of my teams that I coached at, because I had 3 different teams that I coached at, the very first, one of them is my smallest team. There were 7 girls, but it was kind of hard to communicate with them. Me and my fellow coach, we had hard time trying to get them to pay attention, getting them to, try to understand the lesson, just getting them to get anything from the lesson was a little, difficult at times. So we had to find different ways to communicate with them, and using different strategies and methods to get them to understand the lesson and pay attention. My third objective is, by the end of my time as a coach for 10 weeks, the girls I coach will have understood and be prepared for the celebratory 5K event. So the 5K event is a event that we host that is basically just celebrates the girls and their accomplishments at the end of the season. Again, through each season, they are training for it. So what we do is we set aside 30 to 40 minutes at the end of the lessons, and we have them run. And so basically this trains them to be, physically active. If they love to run, this is a great way for them to, to run and that sort of stuff. And again, the 5K, just trying to prepare them for that. My last objective is, by the end of my internship, I will have worked with partners, volunteers, and other stakeholders to meet program goals. So I worked a lot with, my staff, the staff there. I also had a lot of contact with the board members. One of the board members is actually one of my fellow coaches at one of these sites, and so I worked closely with her. And then I also had a lot of opportunities where I worked with stakeholders and possible sponsors of the organization. So I contacted different organizations throughout Western North Carolina to try and get them and us to kind of work together. So yeah, and then we had to go through coach training before the season began. So in the first training, I was a trainee myself, so I was involved. I got to know a lot of the other coaches, and got to network around with the other people there. So basically, and then there was like two trainings. The second one, I helped more so facilitate it, and on the second one there was also CPR and first aid training, so I was a part of that as well. This picture shows me and the group of girls, the 7 girls, and this was a specific lesson where we, try to untangle our emotions. In this one, they were actually trying to untangle themselves as well. So at the end of this, we just kind of talked about, like, how they felt throughout this activity. Like, were they frustrated? Were they mad? Were they confused? So we kind of got them to be aware of their emotions, and, got them to kind of see how they can possibly change their emotions into positive. So, and then there was also a lot of marketing materials that I helped with. My preceptor, Hannah Robinson, she's a community outreach manager, so I helped her a lot with, getting stuff on Facebook, posting on Facebook for the organization, coming up with, again, the poster board for the 5K, flyers, and this specific one, it was on the Facebook page of the organization. So so I had a lot of experience in, like, that aspect of it as well. And then this is a Thankful Thursday post that the organization put out on their Facebook page at the beginning of the season. It's basically just introducing us to the organization. Just basically, it was me and another intern, Miranda Shipman. We both had kind of different roles throughout the organization, but so it's just a post that they had for us. So for future possible interns for this organization, the organization itself is wonderful. The staff is also really, really great. You can see how passionate they are about the organization, and I'm sure that's true at any Girls on the Run council. So I do recommend Girls on the Run as a possible internship, if anyone is interested, because I really got a lot out of it. And again, I got to see so much different perspectives, again, beforehand, with, helping plan the program before it began, helping advertise for the organization, working with stakeholders, trying to find sponsors, getting to know the board members, and everything. So this organization is wonderful, and I feel like if anyone is interested, I feel like this would be a great organization to do an internship at, because you get to see, everything, and you get to, learn a lot. So major lessons learned. There were, a lot of struggles in some of my teams, trying to get them to communicate and trying to work with them. Trying to understand the girls. Some of them were, more cliquey than others, that sort of stuff. But it was, just basically trying to work with them and figure out ways to, get the lessons across, and trying to get them to, understand and work together. So, that was also, a challenge, I guess, throughout my internship. But yeah, so that is basically me and my internship. Again, I loved every moment of it, and I can't wait to be at the 5K at the end of this, so I can see how the girls, changed from when we started to the end. So